bum, bada bum bum bum, bada boom, bada bum bum bum, bada boom, bada bum bum boom, bada boom, bada bum bum boom, bada boom. Hey, good morning. Bada bum bum boom, bada bum, bada boom bum boom, bada boom, bada boom bum boom, bada boom, bada bum bum boom, bada boom. I want to make sure it's going. All right, I see that Twitch is going. All right. We must execute Donald Trump if he's guilty of treason. 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 Because he is. Hello, good morning. Hello. Yes, welcome to the next episode of Redstone Lapis Lazuli. It is I, your host, Pogo Kiddo, and today I'm on Twitch because I like the way Twitch uses its algorithm or whatever to make my videos look amazing. They look so much better on Twitch than they do on YouTube. So I'm going to switch it up a little bit and try to see what this is like on Twitch, which is kind of cool. I think it's going to work out nicely. I've done it before, so I'm a little excited about this. Okay, so there's that part. The next part is you will notice I've got like an enchanting station here, like what? And I've got like different gear. Well, I died like twice with all my stuff on me while I AFK'd, and I felt so bad. But that's the way it is, right? Because like that's Minecraft. If you AFK, make sure you AFK in a good spot, because if you don't, yeah. So I lost all my good stuff twice. Twice. So I didn't really build anything, really. I didn't have much time to make stuff because I was so busy trying to recover from my my unfortunate thing. So what did I do? I kind of made the foundation bigger. I made an actual foundation here, so that's kind of cool. I dig the actual foundation. Okay, and then let's see. And then I moved the nether gate over here. Yeah, things are gonna be a bit weird. I don't know how well it's gonna work out, but I think it's gonna be okay. Okay, now here's my nether station, but you see I've expanded it. I've made it a little bit bigger. I got this deal here, which goes down into the the nether fortress, but I don't have it go anywhere yet. So that's to be worked on. That's working on. Then I have this one here, which is a witch farm. And you see, I carry a shield around with me now because this is like dangerous. For some reason, magma cubes will spawn in here, so I need to use a shield in order to not die. Like, I don't know what happened. Something happened. They must have patched the game or something, because this game, like, things are different. Things are different. And I have to carry a shield now because it's so dangerous. I'm using Foxy No-Tail's resource pack to make the shield smaller, because really, look at that. The original vanilla shield is way too big. You can't see anything. Like, so we don't need that. We don't need that in the way. Come on. So yes, I made a witch farm, and this is kind of one of the reasons why I died, because this transit is dangerous. It's not a safe transit. Okay, so yes, here we are at the witch farm. This isn't actually the witch farm though. This is where it comes out. The witch farm is down there. But right now, we're up here. So here's how this thing works. Oops, I forgot to turn it off. And then turn it back on. Okay. So down there, approximately like 45 blocks down, meters down, there's a witch hut that I've converted. That's the indicator. There's a witch hut down there, and the witches will spawn, and I have it rigged so that the moment they're spawned, a piston pushes them off their little perch and onto a trap I've made, a piston. What's it called? A trident killer. And I take the witches and I separate them from their items, which are very useful. We have glowstone, we have redstone. You get gunpowder, you get spider eyeballs, so I don't have to go kill spiders. You get glass bottles, so I don't have to waste glass. And I get sticks, so I don't have to waste wood. And everything else I can just get rid of. Like these potions, way too many potions. And the sugar, I don't really need the sugar. Yeah, I don't need these potions. They're kind of trash. But anyways, I'll deal with that later. It took me a long time to make this. Like, yeah, this is nice, right? It's nice. I cheated, right? This is simple glass. This is easy. But with the ray tracing, it looks amazing, right? And then I have a simple item sorter here, back here, so that the items come up this water chute and then flow over the item sorter, which will sort them out. And yeah, it's nighttime, so you can't really see anything. Let me sleep here. Golden sunshine. All right. So yeah, for right now in Minecraft, that's what passes as a mountain. It's not really a mountain, right? And they're gonna fix that in the next patch in 1.8. They're gonna fix these so they're actual real mountains. They're gonna be like twice as tall. They're gonna be twice as tall and twice as big, with more dangers and stuff. And then the deep is gonna be a lot deeper. So Minecraft will feel like a more real world. Right now it feels pretty constrained. But yeah, this is a cool mountain, right? I mean, beginning of a mountain. It's a start. And like the highlands up there, you know, it's a start of a mountain. And then, okay, but what I think is neat about this mountain is that, well, there's two things. There's this great hole that is like a for flying. I didn't make it. Suppose I can usually come in here and then turn it, bank it, and then come back out. But it's kind of hard. You gotta turn real tight. All right, let me try one more time. Hey, spam bot, let me go ban you real quick. Let me finish this and I'll ban you. Did it? Oh, I got it. You need a little boost in the end, but like, yeah. So there's the external part of the witch hut. I have my AFK spot way up there, and then the actual witch hut is down here. And you have the wandering trader just being weird. Okay, so you can, if you listen, those are witches splashing around, I think. What? What was that? Listen. Yeah, that's a witch. Those are witches in there. So I don't have the trident killer on. So essentially what happens is witches in there. Let me put a torch in there so you can see. Yep. See the witch down there? Hello, little witches. Hi, guys. Ah! They just hit each other. Oh no, they hit me. Now they're fighting. Let them fight. Fight, witches, fight! It's a witch fight! Oh, that one guy, he took him out. He took him out. Oh no, they're still fighting. Who's gonna win? Witch fights, witch fights. Fight, witches! Oh. Uh-oh. Oh no, I'm poisoned. Uh-oh, it's the end now. I can't see the fight. They're still in it. They're still going at it. All right. Well, while they're fighting, you can see why witches are so difficult, because they have potions, endless potions. So they'll poison you, and then they'll do health potions on themselves, so they don't die. So in order to kill them efficiently, you have to use a trident killer that has impaling 5 on them. That way, it doesn't matter if they use a potion; they die instantly. So they spawn on this brick, and as soon as they spawn, they usually trip this wire. And this wire pushes out that piston that pushes them into the trident killer. We'll let them keep going. And then that pushes them in the trident killer. They die, and their items get flushed out into this item elevator. Here. One more hole. All right, dark in there. Yeah, you like that glass? That's that stained glass stuff. You can see through it, but it doesn't let light through. So it doesn't let light through. And then yeah, this is just the signal. Like, it's expensive the way I did it. This is real expensive. This is probably not the way to do it. If you want to send a signal downward, don't do it this way. Unless you're late game and you're rich, because this is super expensive. This is a lot of sticky pistons and redstone. But it's easy and it's cheap and it looks good. But there are cheaper ways of sending a signal downward. Don't do it this way. But then yeah, that keeps the trident killer on and off. And then over here on the back where I have that redstone torch, that's the tripped stone. That's the trip wire. So when it trips, it'll send a signal back up and flash that light up there. So that way I can know what's going on without being able to like have to pay attention. Oops. Poop. All right. Elytras in Bedrock are so difficult. Change them to be like Java, okay? Listen to Silent Whisperer. Change Elytras to be like Java, where they're easy. It's too hard on Bedrock. You don't want Elytras to be hard. You want them to be easy and fun, like they are in Java. Okay. So yeah, so I'm up here. The reason why I'm up here is because around the player is a spawn radius. Around the player, mobs can spawn anywhere around the player, and there's a certain number of mobs that can appear in your world. And I want to ban this guy. How do you ban him? Nope. Ban. Okay, good. All right, good. So there. So I'm up here in order to make the spawn radius as small as possible. Monsters can't spawn in the air. They can't spawn on the water. They can't spawn on glass. They need a solid block. And it has to be dark. So I'm up here to exclude all of the caves underground. So the only real spawn area that's viable or valid for monsters to spawn is that little room right there. In fact, that little block. That little block is the only place monsters can spawn. But the only monster that can spawn on that spot is a witch. So if I've excluded all of their hostile mobs so they don't eat up the mob cap, that way I only get witches. And then witches get killed instantly. And then I keep their stuff to convert it for the use of good. transmutation, alchemy. Yeah. All right. So alchemy, Arab, right? Arabic. Oh yeah, I read that. I read that the Babylonians were doing trigonometry 1,500 years before the ancient Greeks. And the way they were doing it was with ratios. They were doing it totally different, a totally different kind of mathematics in Babylon. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. They're doing trigonometry with ratios. Like, oh my gosh, my head. That's awesome. That's incredible. And then that also makes me think, how much extra work have humans been doing that we didn't have to do? Like, if the Babylonians could have taught their stuff to everyone else, then we wouldn't have had to figure out, the Greeks wouldn't have had to figure out their version of trigonometry that was probably harder than the Babylonian version. The Babylonians, like, using ratios, they figured stuff out. I don't know. I didn't read the article, and I'm not really expert on Babylonians or history or mathematics. But I think that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty amazing that it changes our understanding of our history. Like, I need to look more into, I have to study Babylon a lot more, Mesopotamia, because man, they were figuring stuff out way before the Greeks. All right, so what else do I want to show you? Besides this awesome trident killer, and did it stop working? Yeah, see, in order to make it work, sometimes you have to change the settings from peaceful and then back to hard. That way, you kill off all the mobs, and then you go back to hard mode, so then you allow for more mobs to spawn. But being where I am, again, the only place for mobs to spawn is down in that little witch hut. So I can't see in there right now because I have my shaders on. If I turn the shaders off, I can see, sort of see. Not really. Oh, it's here. Yeah, let me turn it on. Okay, you can see the trident killers now moving. Well, kind of. Well, no, you can't really see anything. But I promise you, there's something that, like, as soon as the witch just spawned, you can see the witch moving around. Yep, there you go. And then the experience will eventually make its way up here. I don't know why. I can't figure out what's going on with it. It's glitching out. I don't know. I can't see experience because it'll come up and I'll get it, but I won't ever see it. So I don't know what's going on with the experience. But yeah, there's another witch. And you can see them, well, they used to be able to look, when they didn't die so quickly, they would look up through the stained glass and look at me. It's like, how can you see me, dude? A little scary. Okay. So yeah, I spent a lot of time doing this, and doing this, I died twice. And I didn't get to finish anything else. Because this transit is dangerous. It used to be back in the day with Minecraft that once you make a tunnel in the nether roof, that you were safe. It was easy transit. It was safe. Anymore, you have to pay attention. Like, it's awful. I don't like having to pay attention. I like being able to AFK in Minecraft without dying and having stuff still be done, like riding a train. That's why I like trains so much in real life, because in real life trains, you can AFK in real life and still get to where you're going. And you can AFK really easy on a train. Like, read a book, fall asleep, walk down to the cafe car and get a coffee and talk to total strangers. It's fun. I love trains. You're AFKing and you still get to where you need to go. Like, it's amazing. I love it. Planes, not the same thing. Planes are real hard. Planes are a bunch of work. You have to get through security. When you're in the plane, it's super cramped. Like, the whole place is not conducive to talking to strangers and being relaxed. You can't really AFK while you're traveling via airplane. But while you're traveling via train, oh yeah, it's easy to AFK. It's awesome. I love it. I think we should really invest heavily in high-speed rail systems. It would change everything. Oh wait, why did I go back here? Oh, because I have to. See, I need to make a train station. A proper train station. Here. Now I'm going to go back. I want to show you. The other thing I did is spend a lot of time at the gold farm. Because I died a lot. Which means I had to re-enchant a bunch of armor. And which means I had to go back to the gold farm to get it. The problem is the gold farm was like not optimal. I was always like frustrated with the gold farm for a number of reasons, for a bunch of different reasons. So I finally, because I spent so much time at the gold farm, I finally like made the necessary optimizations, and it works a lot better. And now it feels a lot better to be at the gold farm. Because there's no backup, it doesn't break, I don't really have to do anything, and I made an enchanting station there, so I don't have to fly back. I don't have to stop the gold farm in order to go back to enchant things. I can just do it right there. Like, it was the obvious thing to do in the beginning. I was just like, again, this whole world is prototype, so the whole thing is spread out. Like, nothing is near where it's supposed to be. That's kind of why I'm starting this new world, to start like, well, new world, like starting in a new place is to consolidate stuff. But even then, I don't really want to do it because they're gonna, in the next update, they're gonna make proper mountains, and that's when I want to make a base, a mountain base. Because if we're not, like, there's two places that humans are gonna like, oh yeah, here, that's the other problem, right? While I was, okay, so this is Redemption Station. But for some reason, every time I used the gold farm, this place would be flooded with pigmen who would be angry at me. So I would go to the gold farm, I'd get a lot of experience points, and I would go into the portal to go somewhere, and as soon as I come in, I would get mobbed by a whole bunch of angry pigmen who kill me because I can't see what's happening because I have portal sickness coming through the portal. So I don't know what's happening, and the pigmen kill me. So I have to come back and get all my stuff every time. So it sucked. So I broke this portal, and I spent a bunch of time trying to remake the portal so that pigmen wouldn't come through. And I tried to move the portal over here, and that didn't work. It made a bunch of problems, but I think I finally got it working. The other problem was that in the process of doing this, I must have made the entrance pretty dark. So that let monsters spawn. So that means a creeper spawned. And the creeper spawned and came in here and sat here waiting for me until I come in. And I have like portal sickness, so I can't see what's happening. I don't know what's happening. The creeper comes right up to my face and blows up. So all my glass was broken, all my thing down there was broken, all this entrance was broken, and my nether portal was broken. So I had to have a big adventure to fix this and to relight my nether portal. Oh boy. It was non-stop problems. It was non-stop problems. Okay. Finally, it has happened to me right in front of my face. All right. And then finally, let me show you what I've done here. This thing has served me really well. Like, I put a bunch of work into it, and it's undergone a lot of transformations. But yeah, this thing has been pretty great. Okay. I've got like a station here now. Station. And then this works a lot better. I've got 2 of these guys going, and they're powered by lava buckets. So that helps a lot. I'm not always constantly refilling it. And I've got 2 of them now. So we flick this guy on, it's on, right? Well, you can't see it. Let me go show you. You could hear it going. So what that's doing is flashing this nether portal on and off as fast as it can go. And in doing so, every time it flashes up and down, there's 2 of them. There's 2 portals, not just 1, but 2. Every time it flashes, it has a chance to spawn pigmen. Which it does. And there's like, I have another 2 on this side doing the same thing. So they're all spawning pigmen. The pigmen all go and they wait. Because this is an old prototype, remember? It's not like, I don't want, if I fall in, I'm dead. I gotta watch out. The hole for them to fall in is only 2 wide. So really, I need it to be 4 wide for more throughput, but to fit in more pigmen. But it's an old design, so I can only fit in so many, only 2 at a time. I can't fit it any more than that. So they come down here, and then with the processor, I have a new processing. I have a Impaling 5 trident in there, and that kills pigmen a lot faster. And then with all this stuff, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I can trade 6 at a time to the priest. And after 6, he needs a break. All right. And that's it. Now, it looks like it's overwhelming, but with that trident in there, they're gonna die quick. So after it gets caught up, which won't take too long, the pigmen won't be able to fill the chamber fast enough. It's only overwhelming right now because we let it build up. But after it gets sorted out, again, it's like improved. So, like even the blast furnaces can keep up with all the swords now. Before it couldn't keep up with the swords, and now it can. So, this is my favorite part of Minecraft, where I can just kick back here and watch as things are done. Like, I can AFK and things will be done. It's a little bit loud, I'll give you that. So let me work this out so it's less loud. Audio. Okay. Here, let me grab some of these swords. Look how fast it is. I can do nothing to overwhelm it. I mean, if I got a better system, I'm sure I could try, but there. So it's gone, right? The backlog is gone. Can you trade again? No. He's like, I'm not ready. It's too much evil at once. Okay, so it is backing up. I'm not as cool as I thought it was. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's going. It's going. It'll get worked out. I just don't like the noise. It's super loud. Here, let me mute it. How do I mute it? Oh, I don't have to mute it. I'll just do this. Settings. Audio. Okay. While it's doing that, let's talk about stuff. Let's talk about stuff, baby. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. This guy right here. Oh, wait, where'd it go? Oh, wait, it's on this side. It'll show up over there. So I need to change OBS because I can't see what I'm doing. Oh, no, it's right there. Okay, it's not showing up, though. How do I make it show up? Picture, photos. Okay, hold on. Do I have two open or something? Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. What happened to my thing? Okay, it should be working, but it's not gonna. Watch. No, it didn't. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. Oh, what's going on? All right, I have another program, a backup. See how weird that is? All right, open with in friend view. Yeah, there it goes. How dumb that I have to do it this way. Okay, this guy right here. This guy right here. On this timeline, anything can happen, but some things are still not going to happen. One of these non-events is Donald being reinstated on August 13th. The issue isn't the non-event. The issue is what happens after the non-event doesn't happen. See, the non-event is this. Mike Lindell sets August 13th as the date in his bonkers theory that Trump will be reinstated. This guy is saying Trump will be reinstated on August 13th. Now, the problem is that, okay, right, how can you say anything is possible and still say that Trump is not going to be reinstated on 13th, right? That's because you have to understand, like, how infinity works. Like, infinity is like, it sounds like it's everything, but it's not, right? Infinity is actually quite limited. Infinity can be really, really, really limited, depending on how you frame it. See, that's the thing, framing. It's all about framing. There are infinite numbers in between 1 and 2. Infinite numbers. All right, infinite. The brain cannot conceive of all the numbers in between the number 1 and the number 2. But I can guarantee you, none of those infinite numbers, infinity, doesn't matter, infinity numbers, none of them are 3. Infinite numbers between 1 and 2, none of them are 3. They will never, ever, ever, ever be 3. Never. Never. That's how you can limit infinity. Just the same. There's no way. There's zero possibility. Zero chance that Donald Trump is reinstated on August 13th. We know, rational, intelligent human beings know this. Who are not brainwashed. We know this. We all know this. There's no mechanism possible for Donald Trump to be reinstated for president. That's called a coup. And that's called a violent insurrection. We're in the midst of an insurrection right now. So what Mike Lindell and Donald Trump are talking about is not a not reinstated as president, but a coup, seizing power, overthrowing the government. They want to overthrow the government on August 13th. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But that's the problem. There's going to be a whole bunch of people, just like the QAnon people, right? Just like the QAnon, who got their hopes built up by Donald Trump and by Mike Lindell. They believe in something totally crazy, and it's gonna and because and when it doesn't happen, they're going to be so freaked out, upset in their brains and in their spirit. They're going to be so upset that they're going to what? They might do something that's not right. So that's my fear, is that something bad is going to happen if Donald Trump keeps talking his mess, which he's doing, right? He keeps talking that mess. He hasn't stopped talking that mess. It's not going to work now. Dude, it was so cool, and now all of a sudden it doesn't work. Like, what happened? Here, okay, what if I do it this way? Oh, yeah, here, I got it. I'm going to delete this. Delete it. Just delete it. And restart it. Remove. Remove, yes. Add, yes. Add window capture. Window capture, photos. It's not on here. MS No, what's it called? Photos. Automatic. Nope, it's not. It doesn't want to do it. I don't understand. I don't understand what happened. What changed? I don't know what happened. Something happened to my photo thing. It doesn't want to work anymore. A window capture, image slideshow, display capture, window capture, dude. It's window capture. It's called photo. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, dude, and it should be there. I have two photos now. What's this? See, and neither one of them are there. So I don't know how to. Okay. Damn it. That sucks. Okay. Let me try something different then. See, something changed. Things changed. Seeing a lot of people immediately turn to it's too late to do anything about climate change based on the catastrophic weather events of the past few weeks. And I can't stress enough how, okay, before I get into this one, that's not the one I wanted. I was talking about how this is not going to happen. That's the one I wanted. The DOJ says Trump's delusional claims that he'll be reinstated to the White House could fuel more political violence from his supporters who stormed the Capitol. Here's what prosecutors said in court filing explaining why they oppose a writer's request to end the GPS monitoring. Right. Now that he is released, it is more important than ever to ensure the safety of the community. Former President Trump continues to make false claims about the election, insinuate that he may be reinstalled in the near future as president without another election, and minimize the violent attack on the Capitol. Television networks continue to carry and report on these claims, with some actually giving credence to the false reporting. The defendant in this case is not a good candidate to be out in the community without electronic monitoring to ensure the safety of the community and the safety of democracy in the current environment, especially after only 60 days. There is no evidence that the defendant has changed his views or his beliefs, nor are there any changed circumstances since the last hearing on April 26, 2021. So Donald Trump is still out there trying to incite an insurrection, a violent insurrection. Fox News is out there still spreading the lies of Donald Trump. People like regular Americans who don't know any better or should know any better, they should know better, still believe Donald Trump. They should know better than to believe Donald Trump. I mean, I'm not going to they should know better. They should know better. And the Republican Party is still trying to overthrow the government. So we're still in that phase of insurrection, the violent insurrection. Donald Trump, because as it is already, right? We know that Donald Trump is the one who incited the insurrection, the attack on the Capitol on January 6th. That's where Ashley Babbitt died. Ashley Babbitt died because she believed the lies of Donald Trump, Ivanka Trump, Jared Kushner, Donald Trump Jr., and Fox News. Ashley Babbitt died because she believed the lies of Donald Trump. Donald Trump is responsible for the death of Ashley Babbitt. Everyone's looking for the killer of Ashley Babbitt. He's right there. His name is Donald Trump. Yeah, there's this guy on Onan, right? One American News Network. His name is Pearson Sharp. Pearson Sharp said we should execute the people who were responsible for trying to overthrow the government. I agree with Pearson Sharp. We have multiple government reports showing that the Trump campaign conspired with the Russian government to overthrow the 2016 election. And they tried to overthrow the 2020 election. I agree with Pearson Sharp. I think we should find those people and execute them via the U.S. courts, according to U.S. law. I agree with Pearson Sharp. How funny that Pearson Sharp and I agree that we should execute Donald Trump for treason. How funny is that? How weird. Donald Trump is responsible for the death of Ashley Babbitt. Oh, wait, I want to go to the witch farm. New content. So yeah, it's a big world. Just everything is spread out. Spread out. Yeah, absolutely. Donald Trump is responsible for the death of Ashley Babbitt and of the police officers who died defending the Capitol. Oh, yeah, absolutely. The Republican Party is basically a white supremacist party. Donald Trump is essentially a white supremacist. It's a white supremacist party. They're trying to overthrow the United States. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. If you're a Republican, it means you're a white supremacist, and that you're not on board with democracy. So let's turn on this trident killer. It's going to go down there and kill witches as they spawn. And we know this. We don't have to go down there. I don't have to go down there and see it. In fact, I can't. If I get too close, then witches don't spawn. That's the funny thing about witches. If you're too close, they won't spawn. Don't get too close or they won't spawn. If you're not close and you're not looking and it's dark, then they'll spawn. So I can only see them indirectly through my indicator signals. I have two ways of indicating. I have this music block, which if I played the sound, you can hear it. And I have this light. So there's two different ways of indicating a witch is down there. Yeah, and I just hang out here. I used to have like a marker to mark exactly where I was, like boom, 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 boom. But then I didn't like it because it blocked the view straight down. So I'm going to hang out here for a bit. All right. So here, let's look at Tucker Carlson. Remember, Fox News and Donald Trump are the ones who killed Ashley Babbitt because they lied to them. Do you want to see for yourself Fox News lying to you in real time? Here's a video of Tucker Carlson lying, telling you a lie, showing you the video. There's a video of the events, and then Tucker Carlson lying about what you're watching. And that's how come there's a disconnect, because white Americans only listen to Tucker Carlson. They don't watch their eyes. They only listen to what he says. They don't believe what they see. They only listen to what the leader says.
A mob of older people from unfashionable zip codes somehow made it all the way to Washington. A mob of older people from unfashionable zip codes somehow made it all.
Wait, so that's the first lie. A mob of older people. A mob of older people. I'm going to play this in slow. I have to play this slow. Play this slow. Playback. Speed, slower. All right. Because we have to call out each of these lies.
A mob of older people from.
Those are not older people. Those are younger people. Those are not older people. Those are younger people. He's lying.
Unfashionable zip codes somehow made it all the way to Washington, D.C.
Somehow it made it all the way to Washington, D.C. They planned it for months. They planned it for months. The wife of a Supreme Court justice, the wife of Clarence Thomas, paid for buses to ship these people here. They didn't somehow make it. It was planned. A bunch of young people, the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, planned for months in advance to show up to the Capitol. So this guy is lying, told all these lies in the span of 3 seconds? 5 seconds. 5 seconds into it, he lied about who was there. There was a bunch of younger people, not a bunch of older people. He lied about how they got there. It wasn't somehow they got there. It was a carefully planned and executed operation, funded by rich people who are in government. So he's telling all these lies already in 5 seconds.
Probably a bus. They wandered freely through the Capitol like it was their.
They wandered freely through the Capitol. Dude, they're fighting cops for 4 hours. They didn't wander freely through the Capitol. He lied again. See, that's what I'm saying. If you only listen to Tucker Carlson, all you get are lies. He even said so in court. He said in court, no one who's reasonable would actually listen to what I'm saying, believe what I'm saying. So this guy is lying to you on purpose.
Building or something. They didn't have guns, but a lot of them had extremely.
They had lots of guns. They had tons of guns. So many guns were seized from the Capitol, they didn't know what to do with them all. They seized a ton of guns. Everyone was armed. In fact, I had a show about that. A cop, one of the cops who was about to get killed, he thought he was going to die. He had a weapon. He had his gun. But the cop said, if I start shooting, everyone else will start shooting too, and this becomes a massacre. Oh, yeah, there were guns there. Hell yeah, there were weapons there. Tucker Carlson is lying to you. He's a liar because he wants a civil war. He's a white supremacist, and white supremacists are afraid of the truth. You can see him covering up the truth all over the place here.
Dangerous ideas. They talked about the Constitution, something called their rights.
Hang Mike. So they're saying hang Mike Pence, murder Nancy Pelosi, but Tucker Carlson is saying, oh no, they were there about ideas. No, they weren't. They were there to murder Congress. They were there to, but see, Tucker Carlson is lying to you.
Awful as it was, there was nothing racial about what happened that day.
What are you talking about? The guy carried a Confederate flag. The flag of a group of people that wants to enslave other human beings. That's pretty freaking racial, dude. That's pretty fucking racial. So I know you're lying about it because white supremacists don't want you to ever talk about race. They want to pretend about colorblindness. They want you to never, ever, ever talk about race because that way they can maintain their racial hierarchy. Right? You can never question, under white supremacy, you can never question racial hierarchy. Never question it. So you never ever talk about it. This is obviously about race. This is obviously about race. The reason why Donald Trump became president is because so many white people were so upset that a black man was president. So of course this whole thing is about race. This is the very definite. The fact that they're not dead is the definition of white privilege. If those were black people, you would have piles of dead corpses and cheers from the military about how they defended the Capitol.
Claiming otherwise is absurd. It's a fantasy. It's a lie.
To claim otherwise is a fantasy, absurd, and a lie. That's what Tucker Carlson is saying. He's saying, oh, if you see that guy carrying the Confederate flag and you think that's racial, that means that's absurd, a fantasy, and a lie. That's a weapon, right? That's a weapon he's pointing at right there. That's a weapon. So Tucker Carlson says, if you look at that Confederate flag and you think that has anything to do with racialism, that means that's absurd, that's a fantasy, and a lie, according to Tucker Carlson. According to him, you don't see that. That's not there. That's the kind of brainwashing lies that Nazis do, which is Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson is a liar, a Nazi. He's a white supremacist. But do you see why? If you only get your information from him, you might think otherwise. Look at the bold-faced lies, blatant lies, blatantly lying. He's got the truth and is covering up with shit on purpose, so that people don't look. So, oh man.
About what happened that day. Claiming otherwise is absurd. It's a fantasy. Dangerous ideas. They talked about the Constitution and something called their rights.
No, they talked about hanging Mike Pence.
Awful as it was, there was nothing racial about what happened that day.
There's a Confederate flag there, you dumbass!
Claiming otherwise is absurd. It's a fantasy.
It's a fantasy to think that carrying a battle flag into the Capitol has anything to do with racism. That's what a Nazi says. So we know that Tucker Carlson's a Nazi. Right? He's anti-American. We see that right now, right? You see how he's anti-American. He's anti-American.
It's a lie. Millions of Americans sincerely believe the last election was fake.
Why? Why do millions of Americans sincerely believe the last election was a fake? Oh, because people like Tucker Carlson lie to them over and over and over again. They lie, bold-faced lie. All they have to do is look. But Tucker Carlson has corrupted their brains so thoroughly they don't believe their own eyes.
You can dismiss them as crazy. You can call them conspiracy theorists. You can kick them off Twitter.
We do, because it's true. They're crazy. It's a conspiracy theory. Joe Biden won the election. If anything, there was election interference on the behalf of Republicans to win the election. Yeah, there was election interference on behalf of Republicans because they should not have gained House seats. How does an unpopular president gain House seats and then lose the presidency? Something's wrong there. That tells me the power structure, the establishment Republicans got tired of the crazy Trump, and they wanted to get rid of him while consolidating their own power. So that's what they did, right? They rigged the voting to help their people, but make Donald Trump lose.
But that won't change their minds. You may be wondering, did 400 people really commit serious crimes that day?
It was probably it was more than 400 people because there was a conspiracy. So you have to remember, it's including Trump Jr., Ivanka, Jared, the whole family, really. That whole, but Ivanka for sure. Ivanka is the one. Get Ivanka. She's the one. Get Ivanka. Ivanka is the criminal. Ivanka and Jared Kushner, they're criminals. You have to get them. Law enforcement. They're absolute criminals. They're the ones behind this insurrection. Donald Trump is the figurehead, but the one manipulating the strings and doing all the work are Ivanka and Jared. So yeah, for real, 400 people tried to overthrow the government. That's no joke. They wanted to murder Congress. But this guy is a liar.
Well, that depends how you define crime.
Yeah, right? White supremacists believe that the law doesn't apply to them. For a white supremacist, the law is a tool to be used to enforce white supremacy, right? The law is below white supremacy. White supremacy is the highest thing. So the law must, according to Tucker Carlson, the law must reflect white supremacy. So according to white supremacists, this is all okay because this is upholding white supremacy. That's why we know Tucker Carlson's a white supremacist, because that's how he thinks. We know his logic. It's very clear. You see how it is? It's very easy to break down if you slow it down. The problem with television is that it comes so fast that people aren't able to analyze it, to digest it. It just slips into your brain without you chewing it up. That's why I don't watch television anymore, because I like to chew it up like I'm doing right now, and I'm going to eat up Tucker Carlson, and that's what I'm doing. It's easy. He's soft. It's easy.
So it wasn't really an insurrection. The problem.
Yeah, it really, really was an insurrection. See, he doesn't want it to be an insurrection because that means that it's against the law, and the law has to reflect white supremacy. So if they're upholding white supremacy, it can't be against the law, according to Tucker Carlson. That's why we know they're white supremacists. But if you listen to only Tucker Carlson, you wouldn't know this.
They showed disrespect to Joe Biden.
No, they didn't show disrespect to Joe Biden. They tried to overthrow the government, but he's trying to minimize it, right? He doesn't want it to be about the dead cop and the beat up cops and the broken stuff and all that shit. He doesn't want you to talk about the terrorism. He doesn't want you to talk about the Russian connection. He wants this to be about Joe Biden. That's what he wants. You see, he's trying to deflect. God, these Nazis are evil, but if you slow them down and you chop them up, they're easy to see.
And his enforcers like Michael Sherwin, and that can't happen anymore.
I don't know who Michael Sherwin is.
They're lying about what you saw. They're calling it a precisely orchestrated coup attempt.
Right? He's saying that we're lying. He's saying that these oath keepers coming in, lined up with the gear and the walkie-talkies, and these Proud Boys who arrived earlier to break the first line of cops, he's saying that we don't see that. He's saying Tucker Carlson is telling us, you don't see this. Listen only to Tucker Carlson. That's what Tucker Carlson, because if you see this, that exposes the lie of Tucker Carlson, and it shows him that he's a big fat liar and a Nazi. So you cannot look, because if you do, then Tucker Carlson's exposed as a Nazi. He doesn't want you to look. He's telling you to cover your eyes.
And that can't happen anymore. They're lying about what you saw.
That's Tucker Carlson, right? In a way, if you ever hear about like abusive people, it's called DARVO. DARVO. Deny, attack, reverse, victim, and offender. So right now, he's denying that it's an insurrection. He's attacking Joe Biden. He's telling you he's reversing the victim and offender, saying that we are the wrong ones, and that we are the ones who are lying, and that they, the ones who are attacking, are actually the victims. That's DARVO. He is using a brainwashing technique. That's what Tucker Carlson does. He uses a brainwashing technique on his audience. I mean, we're watching it, right? If you slow it down and break it up, you can see it really, really, really clearly.
They're calling it a precisely orchestrated coup attempt.
Which it was, exactly.
It was not an insurrection.
Oh, it wasn't an insurrection, and it was a precisely coordinated coup attempt. Yes, they're breaking it down. They've got a bunch of people who are cooperating right now on conspiracy charges. I mean, I just got to look at the courts. I don't have to listen to Tucker Carlson. Oh, look at the courts. A bunch of people are charged with conspiracy. Why? Because they have evidence of it. You don't just charge people with conspiracy willy-nilly. You have to have evidence of it.
It wasn't an armed invasion by a brigade of dangerous weapons.
Yes, it was an armed invasion by a brigade of dangerous weapon-wielding fanatics. Of course it was. But he's lying, right? He's trying to cover up what he's doing. Deny, attack, reverse, victim, and offender. So it was an attack.
White supremacists?
By white supremacists, it was.
It wasn't.
It was.
Those are lies.
It was not a lie. It was true. It's true. It was an attack by white supremacists to overthrow the government in order to maintain white supremacy. Yes, but Tucker Carlson is a white supremacist, and he's trying to lie his way through it. Do you see it? Do you see it?
Why are they demanding that you believe those lies?
Why are we demanding that you look with your eyes? Because if you look with your eyes, then it's obvious Tucker Carlson's lying. It's obvious. If you just look, it's obvious he's a liar and that you've been tricked. That's how come I know Tucker Carlson killed Ashley Babbitt, because his lies so messed up her brain that she charged into the Capitol to overthrow the government. That's how come I know Tucker Carlson is responsible for Ashley Babbitt's death, because I look with my eyes, and he doesn't want me to look with my eyes. He's trying to cover it up with more lies. Do you see that? Do you see that? Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
You should wonder about that.
Yeah, you should wonder about that.
Bunch of
this guy's taking pictures of legislators' stuff. Who knows what's in it? That the Russians wanted to know. How many Russians do you think were mixed up with that group of people in that mob going through? I mean, remember Nancy Pelosi's laptop was stolen. And then the person who stole it tried to sell it to the Russians. I mean, my God, Tucker Carlson is literally an enemy of the United States. He's literally an enemy of the United States. Tucker Carlson is literally an enemy of the United States. He's a Nazi. He's trying to overthrow our government. If you've ever had any ancestors who ever fought any enemies of the United States, he is one of them who tried to kill your ancestor.
Middle-aged people deep in credit card debt. White supremacists teamed up with a guy dressed like Chewbacca to overthrow our democracy. Did anyone ask
There's a bunch of young guys, right? There's They're a bunch of young people. It doesn't look like a bunch of older middle-aged guys like he's talking about. He's trying to say it's a bunch of older middle-aged people who were harmless. And no, dude, these guys had zip ties, guns, stun guns, weapons, batons, firearms. Oh yeah, these guys were ready, right? So he's lying. He's trying to make a false frame. That's what Tucker Carlson's trying to do. He does what Andy Ngo does. Andy Ngo does the same thing, makes a false frame. To hide away the truth. He makes a false frame to make you look over here. Tucker Carlson's doing the same thing. He's making a false frame to get you to dismiss all this stuff so you never look what's inside.
People at the Capitol on January 6th, why they were there?
For Mike Pence. It's only a matter of
It's only a matter of time. Justice is coming for you, Mike Pence. Hang Mike Pence. Kill Nancy Pelosi. That's why they were there. That's why they were there. Tucker Carlson wants to. Why were they there? To kill Congress, to overthrow the government, to stage an insurrection. Ding! Very easy, right? It's weird. It's as if Tucker Carlson's job depends on him not knowing what's happening.
time, justice is coming.
We don't yet know the cost of stopping white supremacist QAnon insurrection, but you can be certain.
Well, the cost so far is we lost 4 police officers to injuries and suicide from the trauma of that day. We lost Ashley Babbitt for sure. And then, yeah, let's see what else turns up, right? Ashley Babbitt, we know for sure we lost Ashley Babbitt for this. We know we lost 4 police officers. Who else? We know that's a cost. That's a pretty steep cost. Ashley Babbitt. Damn, Ashley Babbitt. We should ask, how much is Ashley Babbitt's death worth? What's the cost of Ashley Babbitt's death?
That Chuck Schumer is prepared to have you pay.
Chuck Schumer is going to have us pay for Ashley Babbitt's death. How? Oh, through a January 6th commission. That's right. We're going to have that commission. Nancy Pelosi did that special select commission to study what happened here. Republicans want to cover it up, right? They don't want you to know what happened. They'll say Antifa did it. But if Antifa did it, why don't they want to study it? Why don't they want this commission to look into the origins of it? If Antifa did it, wouldn't you want to know? No Republicans want to know. No Republicans want to find out. Why? Because they are responsible for it. Republicans want to overthrow the government.
Whatever it costs.
All right, so I'm going to play that one more time without me talking so you can hear, so you can see for yourself the juxtaposition between the lies Tucker Carlson will tell you and the visual, the truth of what you see with your own eyes. And I want you to feel that disconnect. I want you to feel it.
A mob of older people from unfashionable zip codes somehow made it all the way to Washington, D.C., probably by bus. They wandered freely through the Capitol like it was their building or something. They didn't have guns, but a lot of them had extremely dangerous ideas.
They had guns.
They talked about the Constitution.
They want to overhang. They want to kill Mike Pence.
Awful as it was, there was nothing racial about what happened that day.
Set up the Confederacy. They wanted to overthrow the government. There's some weapons.
It's a lie. Millions of Americans sincerely believe the last election
got tricked.
Was fake.
They got tricked.
You can dismiss them as crazy. You can call them conspiracy theorists. You can kick them off Twitter.
They're insane. Look at them. Look at them attack.
But that won't change their mind.
Look at them attack.
You may be wondering, did 400 people really commit serious crimes that day? Well, that depends how you define crime.
Yeah, to white supremacists, they don't believe this is a crime.
Insurrection. The problem.
So the white supremacists don't think this is an insurrection.
Back to Joe Biden and his enforcers like Michael Sherwin, and that can't happen anymore. They're lying about what you saw. They're calling it a precisely orchestrated coup attempt. It was not an insurrection. It wasn't an armed invasion by a brigade of dangerous white supremacists. It wasn't. Those are lies. Why are they demanding that you believe those lies?
Look what's
You
happening.
should wonder about that.
Look what's happening.
A bunch of middle-aged people deep in credit card debt. White supremacists teamed up with a guy dressed like Chewbacca to overthrow our democracy. Did anyone ask the people at the Capitol on January 6th why they were there?
For Mike Pence. It's only a matter of time. Justice is coming.
We don't yet know the cost of stopping white supremacist QAnon insurrection, but you can be certain that Chuck Schumer is prepared to have you pay whatever it costs.
So, you have to understand, do you see the amount of brainwashing? That guy has a nightly show where he spreads these lies over and over and over and over and over again to the people, and they believe him. Like, they don't look with their own eyes to actually what happened. Instead, they listen to what he says and just believe what he says. They're utterly brainwashed. They're totally brainwashed. Okay, I have a bunch of stuff. All right. Oh no, damn it. I have to do it this way. How it started, how in Tennessee, how it's going. So, institutional white supremacy is when you repeatedly protect Nazis, but proudly ban teaching about why Nazis are evil. So in Tennessee, a resolution denouncing neo-Nazis dies in Tennessee legislature for a second time in 2018. But we Tennessee lawmakers banned critical race theory in school to protect children. So we can't find, children cannot know why Nazis are bad. Like we can't say, we don't want to say that Nazis are bad, right? Don't say that Nazis are bad. Don't say Nazis are bad. But over here, we cannot tell you why Nazis are bad. So two things. Don't say Nazis are bad, and don't find out why Nazis are bad. What kind of government doesn't want to say that Nazis are bad and doesn't want you to know why Nazis are bad? What kind of government does that? What kind of government does that? Oh, that's right, a white supremacist government. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, I didn't get the first part. All right, so there was a teacher who was going to be there was a teacher who got fired because they were teaching stuff that goes against the critical race theory ban that their state has. So this teacher was fired. What is it that they tried to teach? Let me show you. There was this story here. Oh, damn it. This story here, open with. By Ta-Nehisi Coates. The first white president, the foundation of Donald Trump's presidency is the negation of Barack Obama's legacy. So, an analysis of exit polls conducted during the presidential primaries estimated the median household income of Trump supporters to be about $72,000. But even this lower number is almost double the median household income of African Americans and $15,000 above the American median. Trump's white support was not determined by income. According to Edison Research, Trump won whites making less than $50,000 by 20 points, whites making $50,000 to $99,000 by 28 points, and whites making $100,000 or more by 14 points. This shows that Trump assembled a broad white coalition that ran the gamut from Joe the dishwasher to Joe the plumber to Joe the banker. So when white pundits cast the elevation of Trump as the handiwork of an inscrutable white working class, they are being too modest, declining to claim credit for their own economic class. Trump's dominance among white across class lines is of a piece with his larger dominance across nearly every white demographic. Trump won white women and white men. He won white people with college degrees and white people without them. He won white ages 18 to 29, 30 to 44, 45 to 64, and 65 and older. Trump won whites in Midwestern Illinois, whites in Mid-Atlantic New Jersey, and whites in Sunbelt New Mexico. In no state that Edison polled did Trump's white support dip below 20 or 40%. Hillary Clinton's did in states as disparate as Florida, Utah, Indiana, and Kentucky. From the beer track to the wine track, from soccer moms to NASCAR dads, Trump's performance among whites was dominant. According to Mother Jones, based on pre-election polling data, if you tallied the popular vote of only white America to derive 2016 electoral votes, Trump would have defeated Clinton 389 to 81. With the remaining 68 votes either a toss-up or unknown. So that is to say, Donald Trump is very, very, very appealing to white supremacists. So, but what is this white, right? The white. Where did white come from? This transfiguration is not novel. It is a return to form. The tightly intertwined stories of the white working class and black Americans go back to prehistory of the United States, and the use of one as a cudgel to silence the claims of the other goes back nearly as far. Like the black working class, the white working class originated in bondage. The former in lifelong bondage of slavery, the latter in the temporary bondage of indenture. In the early 17th century, these two classes were remarkably, though not totally, free of racist enmity. But by the 18th century, the country's master class had begun etching race into law while phasing out indentured servitude in favor of a more enduring labor solution. From these and other changes of law and economy, a bargain emerged. The descendants of indentured servants would enjoy the full benefits of whiteness, the most definitional benefit being that they would never sink to the level of the slave. But if the bargain protected white workers from slavery, it did not protect them from near slave wages or backbreaking labor to attain them. And always there lurked a fear of having their benefits revoked. This early white working class expressed soaring desire to be rid of the age-old inequities of Europe and of any hint of slavery, according to David R. Rodinger, a professor of American Studies at the University of Kansas. All right. Coates 4, open with. So this whiteness, which divides the United States, came from the idea that white indentured people would, though they were poor, would never sink as low as being a slave. So they were told, maintain the racial hierarchy if you want to maintain your position and not sink any lower. But the deal is a bum deal, because poor white people, the descendants of indentured servants, are still getting exploited really, really, really badly, which is why they can't thrive. They can never thrive because they're being exploited almost as bad as black people. But because they're not exploited as bad as black people, they vote to maintain the white supremacy power structure. So, but the power is ultimately suicidal. Trump evinces this too. In a recent New Yorker article, a former Russian military officer pointed out that interference in an election could succeed only where necessary conditions and an existing background were present. In America, that existing background was persistent racism, and the necessary condition was a black president. The two related factors hobbled Americans' ability to safeguard its electoral system. As late as July 2016, a majority of Republican voters doubted that Barack Obama had been born in the United States, which is to say, they did not view him as a legitimate president. Republican politicians acted accordingly, infamously denying his final Supreme Court nominee a hearing and then, fatefully, refusing to work with the administration to defend the country against the Russian attack. Before the election, Obama found no takers among Republicans for a bipartisan response, and Obama himself, underestimating Trump and thus underestimating the power of whiteness, believed the Republican nominee too objectionable to actually win. In this, Obama was tragically wrong. And so the most powerful country in the world has handed over all its affairs, the prosperity of its entire economy, the security of its 300 million citizens, the purity of its water, the viability of its air, the safety of its food, the future of a vast system of education, the soundness of its national highways, airways, and railways, the apocalyptic potential of its nuclear arsenal. We handed this all over to a carnival barker who introduced the phrase, "grab him by the pussy," into the national lexicon. It is as if the white tribe united in demonstration to say, if a black man can be president, then any white man, no matter how fallen, can be president. And in that perverse way, the democratic dreams of Jefferson and Jackson were fulfilled. And there was a poem that went along with this. This is a poem by Kyla, Jenée, Lacey.
We learned your French. We learned your English, we learned your Spanish, we learned your Dutch, your Portuguese, your German. You learned our nothing, you called us stupid. That's white privilege. And I'm sure it probably hurts for you to hear those two words, kind of like gunshots and explosions from those commissioned to protect you with whisking past your ears. What is white privilege? It is the only 5 decades of legal acknowledgement expected to correct 400 years of white transgression. It is crack versus cocaine. Blacks receiving almost 20% longer sentences for the same exact offenses. Like, for instance, a black man without a record is less likely to get a job than a white felon, or maybe it's because we're lazy and we don't work hard enough. Like, what the fuck? 400 years in the same field literally is an incredible resume builder. It is Katrina answering the government's prayers of eugenics, Dick Cheney going fishing the next day, Condoleezza on a shopping spree, Bush in San Diego, but Kanye is the one you call crazy because, like, it only took the USA 2 days to get aid to Asia, but 5 for FEMA to get to Canal Street and Esplanade. Is the one black kid who beat the shit out of the odds, but only thanks to Sandra Bullock, Michelle Pfeiffer, and the White Shadow, so now we all can make it. It is the only time thousands of white people are cheering for the black kid to win is in the stadium. It is you looking at me crazy if I told you to go back to Europe, even though we didn't have a say. It is you, all of a sudden, having a problem with immigration like this isn't even your nation. How the hell do you discover some shit that wasn't even missing to begin with? You Columbus our traditions. Had white girls twerking in high politician with multicolored hair and purple nails, but it was ghetto when we did it. Oh, I make you uncomfortable. Try a cramped slave ship, but wait. Slavery is over now. It's just called the prison system, because like, you're not racist because you don't use the N-word, but y'all use niggas every day. What is white privilege? It is the acceptance of bombs over Baghdad, but not over Boston. It is European history being taught as a major and African as an elective. It is learning about my people only 28 days like I'm not black every fucking second as every white boy. With the fuck my brains out, not because I'm pretty, but because I'm pretty for a black girl. It is people thinking that Africa is one nation. It is the waving of the Confederate flag like you didn't lose the battle and then telling us to get over slavery. It is people saying that black people destroyed neighborhoods but forgetting that white people have destroyed continents. It is every time I bring up my plight, some white man has to tell me that I'm crazy but is kind enough to praise my English or say that we are all given the same opportunities, even though he has a family history of wealth and I don't even know my family history at all. Is the justification of police brutality. Like, what did that person do? I'm sure it doesn't hurt as much when the victim doesn't look like you. It is people thinking that affirmative action is an unfair advantage instead of keeping the qualified from being unfairly disadvantaged or throwing out a qualified applicant because their name sounds too African American. Is Newports imported into black communities, but black boys exported for weed as big plastic asses that are called fat when we naturally have them. It is an Australian woman whose new classic of rap music is everyone who hears this poem dismisses all this truth I just spit as reverse racism. That is white privilege. Thank you.
Yep. Oh, you can't hear anything. Settings. Oh wait, there's music. I hear music. No, I can't have that. I gotta stop that. But you can't hear the wind. What's going on? Anyways, okay, that's gonna do it for me. That's a pretty long show. I'm going through stuff in real life, so please bear with me. But yeah, I'm trying, and yeah. That here I want to leave with this one. This is that now I want to stop with this one. Open with. This is important, right? Saying a lot of people immediately turn to it's too late to do anything about climate change based on the catastrophic weather events of the past few weeks. And I can't stress enough how wrong that is and how damaging it is to normalize that kind of thinking. I mean, we got to look at things in terms of degrees here. Right? I mean, like on a spectrum, right? To slight catastrophe to extreme catastrophe. Like, how bad do we want things to get? Like, how bad do we want to get? Do you want to sit in the vat of acid for 5 minutes or for 5 seconds? It's up to us. Like, we can't give up. We can't just like be like, oh, it's too much. Like, look at this kills me. This one kills me. Like, what? Like, how long did it take for that tree to grow? How many hundreds of years has that tree seen? And then you have this, and it's just gone instantly. Like, we can stop this. We don't have to keep going this path. We can stop this. Like, it's a matter of degrees of how much we want to destroy. How far we're going to let it go. And if you listen to the powers that be, they're disaster capitalists. They're happy. They're ready to make money off of whatever happens to the world. They don't care. They have enough stored up resources to make sure that they're okay. It's the rest of us that's going to be wrecked. So we got to do something about it. And I think what we got to do is, well, we got to start learning about like organizing. I think coronavirus gave us a hint that if we do nothing, if we just hang out, we can pretty much kill the economy. And they only care about the economy. They only care about money. So if we kill the economy, and that's why they're happy to send us back to work, even though the pandemic is going, is because they only care about money. They don't really care about humans. So if we just stop working, what are they going to do? They have to give in. That's when we have to organize ourselves. I'm just talking out of my ass right now. I don't really have an idea. I haven't really been talking to people lately. I feel kind of disconnected. But anyways, I will catch y'all later. And until next time. All right. Until then, Pogo Kiddo out. Peace. Finish. Stop.